Hello, everybody, and thank you, Samu, for inviting me here. It's looking like it's going to be an absolutely cracking finale to the lower bracket here between Hype and Skogsapor. I mean, Hype have had a really strong run today. You know, two 2-1s in a row. First against Peppy Milady and against Disgusting. Of course, Skogsapor have just come here out of the upper bracket, having just lost, as some of you will have seen, 2-0 to Hasu, wins these every day. So there's a lot riding on this because, of course, the loser of this series will be out, and the winner will be through to the grand final of the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship. I mean, I don't know about you, Sammy, but I think this could be a really epic series here.
It definitely can be. We shall see how it goes. The winner of this will go up against Team Hasu in the grand final. So yeah, I mean, the Team Hasu goes into the grand final with the winner advantage, which means they have the choice between first pick or second pick on the very first map, and also the choice of the map where to go. And they are allowed to do this even before the maps are being banned. So this is going to be a really good advantage going for them into the grand final. And if they go up against Skogsapor, I mean, we just saw the second game in this series, the Towers of Doom. It was just so great to watch, just seeing this Abathur Viking going up against each other, just this macro play on the map, just so beautiful to see this high level of play.
Yeah, I think that will be something that Skogsapor will be really worried about if they go into the grand final. But we've seen those kind of grand finals before in the Mythic Championship where the winners of the upper bracket have then gone on to lose the grand final. So anything is possible here in the Mythic Championship of Heroes Lounge Season 13. So it should be definitely a fantastic series to watch. I mean, first, before we even get to that, we've got to get to the draft. But our first map is going to be Infernal Shrines, isn't it, Samu?
Yes, it is. It's going to be picked by Skogsapor2.0. They removed from the map pool, they banned out Cursed Hollow and Tomb Spider Queen, the two freeland maps with nice objectives. And on the other side, we see Hype. They removed Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. Instead of Skogsapor, we definitely have some really scary players coming in. They mentioned it before. We had in the last game, we had 8 CCL players, and now with Skogsapor still having 4 of them on the roster, it's going to be a really interesting matchup to see them. Infernal Shrines, pretty standard map. I would kind of expect to see Diva being picked up, if not even banned out at one point. Especially as from the side of Hype, we just saw a lot of Diva being played by Arcunid in the 2 series before.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I mean, the quality of players, the pedigree that we've got in this Mythic Championship this season is absolutely incredible. Some of these really top players from CCL, as you said. And also, we saw Death Knights on Hasu Wednesdays every day, who's, of course, won the Mythic Championship before himself on another team. So, yeah, these are some very strong players. I mean, what are they going to whip out here on Infernal Shrines?
I mean, I personally expect the Diva, as already mentioned, but I would also not mind seeing maybe a Kerrigan coming in from someone. It's just very strong on this map. Of course, Sven with the Sony is always scary on Infernal Shrines. Something you have to watch out. When I look on those other players, maybe Berkhold picks up his Tyrell again. It did not work out for them in the last game, but it was still a really, really good showing of what Berkhold can do on this Tyrell. Like, this Sanctification just nearly saved his team multiple times in this last game.
Yeah, and that, I think it's, the Tyrael Sanctification could be an absolutely huge factor here.
Also, I mean, one thing we saw so far from the side of Hype, so for interrupting there, it was the Ragnaros. They picked up Ragnaros already multiple times, and Ragnaros on Infernal Shrine is just such a strong pick. With having him jumping into the forward and just being able to pick away those minions on the shrine, giving you 20 minions or something just by using this, really, really strong on this map.
Yeah, it's kind of that long cooldown trait that times so nicely with the shrines. A bit like what we see from Alex Straza to pick down Infernal Shrines, using that impactful trait, in this case the Molten Core, but also the smash value that we can see from some of these high-level players where they coordinate their lockdown so well, and then smash is so perfect for killing a single target with that level of coordination. So yeah, Ragnaros could be a real option here, and you don't hear that every day. So definitely Ragnaros is something to think about for this draft. Diva, as you mentioned. What about the Tracer? Is the Tracer something that these top players are always banning out? Do you think? I mean, obviously we just saw it in the last series with devastating potential. So, is it going to get banned here?
I mean, the Tracer is mainly banned against most of those top tier players which know her very well. Dino is one of those, for example. We also saw it earlier today in this series with Diablo Needs Affection. Malo is also one of those well-known Tracer players. But looking through this lobby, I don't really see one of those so much known Tracer players, but we still see Gia, who has definitely the mechanical skills to pull out a Tracer and surprise everyone. Berkhold is also known for a little bit of Zeratul from time to time, so this might also be something you can look at.
Yeah, so some of those really devastating power picks like the Tracer, like the Zeratul, maybe Medivh as well could come into play here. But obviously it is still Infernal Shrines, and we'll still see a focus on Shrine Clear and team fighting, and of course getting some macro pressure as well. So I think the choice of offlaners will be very important for both of these teams. I mean, what do you think about the possibility of Blaze as one of the offlaners?
Yeah, I mean, Blaze is always a really, really strong pick in the offense. He's just not being played that much because he just gets so badly abused by heroes like Cleric, Malphite. They just have a lot of fun against Blaze because he has his high health pool. But on the other side, when you look at team fights, when you have a Blaze to drop down the bunker to keep your team alive, which is really, really strong, and this could definitely turn the tide of some team fights. It might be something we have to watch out here. Because also he has this massive amount of wave clear, he can easily double soak with the Auto attack talent on level of 4. He's also having a ton of pressure on the shrine to clear those shrine minions.
Yes, absolutely. So that could be another pick to watch out for. Again, the chat saying disappointed in the lack of synergy between me and you, Samu, because I don't have a Christmas hat.
It's okay.
I apologize unreservedly for that, and I'm sure we'll fix that for next year. But back to today, we are casting the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship, which is the top teams from Division 1. So how have they got here? Well, they placed in the top teams of Division 1 in the division stages in our Swiss tournament. Then they went through to the group stages where there were 2 groups of 4 teams, and the top 6 of those went through to today's Mythic Championship playoffs. The top 2, of course, went into the upper bracket, and the remaining 4 went into the lower bracket. Here we are at the final of the lower bracket on the Mythic Championship. So really, we're down to the top 3 teams in Heroes Lounge Season 13 here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting what we see here. I mean, keep in mind, you can sign up yourself for Heroes Lounge if you want to play. Maybe on this stage even yourself next season. Exclamation mark, sign up to show this yourself. But of course this season goes over. Next season will starting, but this means also have some time in between. So we right now have the off-season tournament running, which will be an ARAM tournament, or which is an ARAM tournament. And on next Sunday we will have the playoffs for that. So starting at 13 Central European time again. Make sure you check this out as well.
Yeah, ARAM tournament is always good fun. Maybe not quite the same top level here as the Storm as we see here in the Mythic Championship, but it's it's a bit more fun. It's a bit more interesting, let's say, to get that. So definitely consider signing up for that. And of course, as Samu says, Season 14 signups for proper Heroes Lounge, as it might be known, are still open for another couple of weeks. We're still waiting for the last player, but I think they're finally here, so we may be ready to go into this draft in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, hopefully with Parnox joining now. Everyone in.
Yes, so I think we are about to head into Infernal Shrines. So let's head into Infernal Shrines in just a second, and we will see what bans and picks these teams bring out.
So we shall see. Infernal Shrines. It's a long time Heroes Launch Classic, you know? Being the most played map in nearly every season so far.
Yeah, I think it's as far back as I can remember, Infernal Shrines has been the most picked Heroes map in Heroes Lounge. For a while, Volskaya was kind of up there as joint most, but that's fallen down a bit as well now. So the top 4 typically Infernal Shrines, Volskaya, Battlefield, and Towers. But that Towers one varies a bit as well. Sometimes Tomb in other divisions. Right, back to Infernal Shrines though. For now.
And also betting is set up. So exclamation mark bet A if you think Hype is going to win this map #1, or exclamation mark bet B if you think Skogsapor will win this, will bring them a step closer towards getting revenge on Team Hasu, possibly in the grand final.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to know how many points you've got to bet with, type exclamation mark points in the chat. So that's that Medivh ban, and also a Chromie ban here from Hype. What do you make of that Chromie ban then, Samu?
The Chromie is in general is just such a strong hero right now in the current meta. With the temporal loop coming in now, with the due to the medallions removed, temporal loop is just so much better again. Just as poke damage and burst damage she provides enables a lot of teams to do stuff. On the side of Skogsapor, I definitely understand the Medivh ban. Halcyon earlier today already showed him once, and that was goddamn scary. Even though they lost the game, it was a really scary Medivh showing.
Yeah, so I think that's a reasonable ban out there, and Cassia to round that ban off as well. So far, a lot of strong heroes banned, but it does leave open all the tanks except May, of course. So Joanna and ETC might get picked up early here, or Garrosh. I mean, we could also see a Diablo here on Infernal Shrines.
Definitely also a possibility. I mean, looking on the side of Skogsapor now, we see the 2 heroes we already mentioned a little bit earlier, with the Diva and the Sonya being picked up. Sven is just known for his Sonya, so this is definitely a way to go for him. The Diva pairing it up with the bomb on the objective as well. I really like those 2 pickups.
Yeah, that's a lot of heavy front line, but with a lot of shrine control. And there's the Ragnaros, you called it, Samu. There's the Ragnaros to go here as well. Has the potential to use the trait to win an objective, or if they lose it, you can use the trait to defend a pushing Punisher very well as an option there as well. And of course, the Smash that we talked about, Blessed Shield into Smash, it's going to be such a dangerous combination. And as you pointed out, there's no more medallions anymore, so it's kind of very hard to deal with that unless you have a good cleanse from a good cleanse support. So I mean, I think that could be a devastating combination. And of course, they've got the polymorph as well, so they've really got a lot of CC and single target chain right now on the side of Hype. So Tychus gets banned out there. I think the Tychus ban is not too surprising. I think he's a good, solid single target, and we've seen him prioritized a lot in some of the drafts today. What do you make of the Tychus ban there, Samu?
I really like the Tychus ban, especially because you see on the other side already the Johanna being picked up. So you cannot pick the Johanna to blind the Tychus during the minigun. Just moving Tychus from help with the potential. Also, Tychus provides you with the Odin, so this is another big ultimate around the objective, which you can use to just steal away a few more of those skeletons. Now we also see the Anna ban coming out from Hype, of course, and Healing Grenade against Brightwing to make sure she's not getting this one big heal in onto the one target she wants to save. Also very strong ban there.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And that's, yeah, as you say, it's so easy to kind of drop a grenade on a Brightwing incoming phase shift and ruin the whole value of it. But that's been banned away. So they've got the Decade instead as the healer. That's also got the Stay a While and Listen, which could hold people in place for a Diva Bomb or an Apocalypse from Diablo, or both. So they've got to be careful on the side of Hype about that kind of wombo combo style setup. But they picked up Imperius as well. So really heavy frontline drafts from both of these teams. You've got the Imperius and the Rag from Hype, and the Diva and the Sonya from Skogsapor. So really heavy frontline. But it looks to me like Valor's going to be more able to dish out the damage to that front line than, say, Gul'dan and Diva.
It'll be really interesting, also because Ragnaros, he does not have the highest health boost. Even though he is a frontline, he can be easily, when he gets comboed by Diablo and there's some Sonya and Gul'dan damage coming out to him, he's an easy target to be forced down, to be focused down, and to drop really fast. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it goes in the end.
Yes, it will. We'll see that in just a few moments. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of different factors. I mean, Ragnaros does do well against multiple melee targets because he can go for a Q reset, but also more importantly, just his Q's healing him more. His
Also,
Scorpion run. So
we
definitely
saw in the last
value.
few games E-build coming out from Ragnaros. He gets more shield from his talents, and he also slows the opponents more, which is really annoying in the long run.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what they do as we go into game number 1 in this best of 3 lower bracket match. And on the left, in blue, we have Hype with Nox on Brightwing, Halcyon on Imperius, Hlopake on Ragnaros, Yara Days on Joanna, and Parnax on Valor.
And to the right, we have Skogsapor. Coming from the upper bracket, we got Gia on the Golan, Gunnar playing the Deckard, Skog on Diva, Berkold playing Diablo, and last but not least, Sven on his well-known Sonya.
So straight away, these teams are heading to the mid as 5. Talents are in, of course, for level 1. We've got the Devil's Due from Diablo, the Phase Shift upgrade for Brightwing. So nothing too surprising from Brightwing there. And Ragnaros, as you said, going for that E-build will hit more of those multiple melee targets and give the slows as well once they go for this slow at level 4.
Damage is being dished out, the root comes in, puts Janna in place, but he is able to use the Arid skin to move away. Skog getting a little bit of damage in, but he also takes some in return. Going for the charge onto Skog, but he gets stunned by Berkold. Turning around, Halcyon taking a ton of damage, but Skog loses his mech in the meantime as Diva. Now Lopaka coming in with the Ragnaros. Big AoE damage! Gia dropping low. Janna goes in, Yara Days. Gia manages to pick up a poke. Then Yara Days on the Janna gets punished for that and gets taken down. First kill of the game goes over towards Skogsapor.
What a skirmish! What a skirmish at level 1. And by the way, it might not be over. Brightwing's been poisoned by Golan. Okay, the healing, her self-healing does just about keep Nox alive. Yeah, I mean, already we saw some of the value there of Ragnaros' E getting, a lot of damage on those frontliners. But of course, Joanna chased very hard for that kill and didn't quite manage to get it because of the Deckard healing. And so then got punished by Berkold on Diablo. Now they're kicking off for more though. Diablo steps up, taking a fair bunch of poke from Valor, but I don't think they're going to engage into another fight just yet as it's 3v4.
And we have Sonya in the middle, opting into W level 1, which opens up a lot of AoE damage for her later on if she also opts into W on level 4, which will bring a lot of value around the friendly cell. Now see bottom cap on just Skog. About to have the bomb ready for the case. Also in the meantime getting the onto Gia. Gia dropping low. As Gunnar with the potion keeps Gia alive. Now Yara is taking a ton of damage as well again, but there's the Brightwing Force to keep him healthy.
Yeah, but I think the fight isn't quite over because Diva's got a bomb available, but Imperius wants to walk away. Or maybe not, comes in with the skewer onto Bergold's Diablo. Diablo's taking a fair chunk of damage there from Valor. Diva's stepping up, providing so much space, and with Brightwing and Valor low, I don't know if they can stay. In fact, Valor's gone down. Gul'dan might be looking for more kills here because Joanna's been boxed in. Oh, maybe? Yeah, Days goes down to the corruption damage.
0 to 3 in kills so far. In the meantime, we see level 4 kicking in for both teams. On the side of Sony, we see Shadow Crown on level 4, which increases the splash damage now from 100 to 125. It was increased in the recent patch. This will give them a lot of AoE damage on the shrine.
Yeah, that's definitely true. One thing we saw in that previous fight, by the way, is Ragnaros did use Molten Core very early. Now, it's still got about 40 seconds left on the cooldown, if my maths are right.
57.
57. Okay, so yeah, so that won't be up in time for this shrine fight, but if they lose it, it will be up in time to defend. Or if they're pushing with a Punisher and they get a fort, it will be up in time to go further with it, with the Molten Core under the enemy fort, potentially. Now, though, Parnax getting jumped on by Diablo, runs out with 67 HP, but lives. Brightwing does have the phase shift available in 14 seconds, so one wave clear will be enough to bring that phase shift back, but it's not up yet. And that means that Valor's still got to sit very low, goes to go and tap, and Imperius is thinking of stepping in, gets the skewer, and steps away.
This bomb is being used for zoning. We now see Skogsapor being able to pick up this first Punisher of the game. Gonna be a frozen one, so this one will disable the structure. Is very strong for the side of Skogsapor. They will be able to push in a little bit with it.
Yeah, and they're not using the Molten Core to come and defend this because I think they think it's an early Punisher. It's not going to get the fort anyway, I suspect is their calculation. And that is true unless Diablo finds some kind of pick here. I know Ragnaros is coming to Molten Core, but the Punisher's jumped on top. Yaya Days got caught as well. And what a corruption that came out from Gul'dan there. Took a massive chunk out of Yaya Days and Nox there. So the Molten Core was interrupted, but Fort is living anyway. So arguably the Punisher may have just saved Ragnaros a wasted Molten Core cooldown.
Potentially, yeah. In the meantime,
Got
Ragnaros
late
gets
though,
jumped
Diablo
the
comes
bottom.
in under the fort. They want to go onto Rag, and look, he's just boxed around by Red Heroes, but maybe gets a counter kill onto Gul'dan, and he's still alive because of all that Q healing. Vala's putting out so much damage onto D.Va. She might lose a mech here. Joanna's stepping up, 130 HP on the mech, but the mech gets a potion, and Skog lives in that mech for a while longer. So 1 for 1, but great trade there from Ragnaros in the end.
They looking for an engage. Voldemort onto Vertical. He is fine.
Yeah, so level 8 versus level 9. So they're almost a level down now on the side of Hype. That's kind of a challenge. Although I think it may be that Skogsapor wants to fight before level 10 as Diablo steps in, flips over Nox's Brightwing. In comes the triangle from Deckard Cain, but it doesn't catch onto Brightwing, and Joanna has the Iron Skin anyway. Joanna steps up. Puts the polymorph is there onto Diablo. They're just trying to get some damage onto Burgle here. He doesn't have any globes available to get that Devil's Due value. In comes the Brightwing phase shift, tops up Imperius. They want to go for more Samu.
On fighting, Skog is about to have the bomb already. In the meantime, we see Sonya soaking the mid and nearly getting 20, but Vertical dropping very low. But he gets another heal from Gunnar, and he stays alive. Skog in the meantime losing the mech, deciding to not use the bomb yet, keeping it up for the next objective.
Yeah, good decision making there from Skog, keeping that bomb available because it can't be long now till the next objective. And of course, they do have the level 10 advantage, but that's going to disappear in just a few seconds as, yes, indeed, level 10s come in. By the way, that's Falling Sword from Joanna. We haven't seen what Ultimate Ragnaros is going. It is Smash as predicted. Yeah, so they're going to Falling Sword into Smash potentially. Now that's dangerous because it's a lot harder to evade that Falling Sword. Oh, hang on.
Skog is going in with the D.Va boosting in. Has his bomb ready, helps and getting this done onto Gunnar and Vertical. Now the sleep comes out onto 2. The Falling Sword though comes in, Gunnar dropping really low, and he gets taken down.
They are taking him out now. The bomb though, the bomb, Halcyon stuck in the bomb from the Diablo combat, but he's killed him before the bomb goes off. So it's 1 for 1, all things considered, and the Molten Core was used here.
Core has been used, the fort goes down, and Baka is a little bit of trouble, but he manages to move away, and he is fine.
Yeah, so 1 for 1, but Molten Core was used, and D.Va Bomb was used. Of course, they did use the APOC engage as well. So most long cooldowns were traded in this fight there, and ultimately it was an even fight. So I don't think any team will be particularly disheartened by what's happened there, but so far pretty solid going from both teams. But now Burgle wants to step up potentially. Didn't quite get the globe. Of course, remember Burgle is Devil's Due on Diablo here. The globes provide so much healing if he can get them before the fight. And they are looking to pivot around those globes, but there's no globes available in the wave just now. And Yaya Days on the Joanna falling pretty low. D.Va starts to chase in. Diablo comes in, but it gets interrupted. There's the smash as well. Burgle's just been destroyed. The sleep's too late to save him. But Parnax from Avala has to vault away. Skog putting so much damage here from the D.Va. And Ragnaros gets... Sorry, Joanna gets stopped up by the phase shift here from Brightwing. Steps in. The triangle used from Deckard Cain. And everyone is low on mana and health. But Diablo did lose 100 souls.
In the meantime, Diablo respawns, so he will be back for his team here. Even though he has 0 souls, he is not that tanky as he used to be. This... Hype already showed it earlier today with those 4 smash combos. They're really on point. Just deleting 100 soul Diablo so fast is really impressive to see here. But yeah, poor Punisher now walking down the top lane, looking at this top keep wall, at the top keep.
Yeah, and I mean, this is auto attack Vala on level 1 as well. So we may see Manticore as well later on. Providing even more damage to that Diablo. Molten Core comes out though to defend this keep. It has a lot of defense potential. In comes the Diva Bomb just to create a bit of space, but Joanna's gone in with the falling sword into smash onto Deckard. Down the Gunner's still alive though. He had a lot of potions there, and Imperius just gets wombo comboed by Burgle. Now they're looking to chase onto Parnax. The sleep comes out, controls Joanna. She's surely going to be next. Yaya Days on the deck. And of course the Molten Core's ended now. There's nothing more to defend this Punisher, and it's going through the keep very quickly here, Samu.
Getting jumped on by the Punisher, but he manages to get out as even Burkle is after him. But now the keep goes down, and will Skogsapor look to end this game? Everyone on this blue side is about to respawn, so they have to rather back off and maybe look at an opponent camp or some other value on the map. Because ending now is a little bit too scary for them.
Yes, so now they will just go, and Skogsapor will go and pick up every camp that they can, and possibly this bottom fort as well. Burkle, yeah, putting immediate pressure onto this fort. This bottom fort will fall, but it is going to be even talents. And Brightwing has phase shift available, so can join this fight at a moment's notice, which we may see if Hype wants to take a fight now on this level 14 versus 14.
It is one of the big advantages of having a club, just making sure he can soak another lane when you lose the keep, to not get killed by the catapult pressure in the long run. It's so valuable, and therefore Brightwing is still a very good hero. The healing got a little bit reduced on the level 1 talent.
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget about the value she brings with that polymorph, which is just a point-and-click disable that can absolutely ruin the life of any diving hero. And Diablo, Sonya, Diva, these are all going to be vulnerable to that CC chain with the falling sword, with the smash, and with the poly. So, yeah, Brightwing getting a lot of value for teams at the moment. Joanna in the bush gets a bit assaulted by Sonya, takes 2/3 of her life. I'm just amazed at the damage these players do. I swear they they can just do more damage than other players on the same heroes. It's incredible how quickly Joanna's health fell there to the Sonya.
It's just the power of the Sonya, especially with looking at the build of Sven on the Sonya. He also picked up Giant Slammer on level 16, which gives him a lot of percentage damage on his aura attacks and his Ws. So Joanna has to be really careful about that. But the damage coming in from the Sonya herself. See a little bit of pressure on the mid lane. The towers are about to go down. See Kazras throwing some spears onto them.
Yep, so the towers have gone down, and that will give a little bit more XP lead to Skogsapor. In fact, if we take a look at the XP numbers, you'll see where that XP lead that they've got of 1.5 levels comes from. It's largely from hero kills, largely from mercenaries, but also as well from the passive and structure benefit that they've got from taking 3 forts and some tower and a keep and quite a lot of towers already.
Especially when looking at those experience statistics, they are even behind in terms of minions, so even 2,000 behind in minions. So that's one of the values Brightwing has. Just being able to have this club who can stay a little bit longer, take this one more wave on the other side of the map, and then teleport in with the global ability. Just trying to build here on the bottom side. Will be an arcane one. Now everyone from the side of Hype will start to step up. Skok has the bomb ready. Ragnar is already using the most support in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I think they're going to fight under it. Halcyon's gone in. Here comes the APOC combo onto Halcyon, though. CC'd for so long with a double wall charge from the Earl of Sandwich himself. But Yaya Days in the back as Joanna getting torn to pieces, but she's still alive on 80 HP. In comes the sleep, though, and Halcyon's already dead. Nox is going to blink out to Ragnaros, but Vala is going to be left in a lot of trouble unless Brightwing can give her any more spell dust, and I don't think she can. In fact, Brightwing's gone down as well, so it's 2 for nothing so far. It's 3 for nothing. This is an absolute bloodbath right now from Skogsapor.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we also have Bruisercam running straight at the core to go with 2 catapults. Lopak and Yara will be there to defend it. Skok gonna... The hours from Skogsapor are already on their way. They're looking at the core, looking to end this game right now.
Yeah, I think they are doing exactly that. And of course, there's no Molten Core available. But maybe they've gone a little bit too early because Gul'dan is not with them here. So the Diva mech could be taken out potentially if Ragnaros can find a good combo on that. But they backed off sensibly. And now, of course, Hype have to deal with this Arcane Punisher. Jumps onto them. Rolling sword from Joanna onto Gul'dan. Maybe it gets the kill onto Gia. No, Burgle's there with a peel. Absolutely sensational peel from Diablo. Gul'dan does eventually die though to Halcyon. But look how much they've had to commit for it. At what cost? At what cost was that kill? Because they've got 2 on the deck. The Punisher still going in. Is jumped onto Joanna as well. Is 3 on the deck for that Gul'dan. And the Punisher's still very healthy. How are they going to stop this now, Samu?
Oh, there's another combo onto Parnox on the follow-up, but he manages just to get the Brightwing teleport in. He's jumped by the Punisher another time. Will he stay alive? Yes, he does. But now Skogsapor is looking at the core. There's 20 seconds on Ragnaros, 25 on Imperius, and another 25 onto Johanna. There's another combo from Barracool, but he has the second charge. Now,
yeah, a beautiful escape. Yeah, the mid-keep is going to fall for sure, but is the core going to fall? That's the question. Parnax is putting a lot of damage onto Diablo. Burkle may go down. Ragnaros is up in 3. The Diva Bomb, though. Is that going to secure the kill? Oh, especially if Valak gets held in it by Diablo. Beautifully executed here by Burkle. And I think that might be game because Sonya is still going on that core. Falling Sword comes in, but they can't stop the mech. It's GG. Well played to Skogsapor in game number 1.
Yeah, we saw in the meantime a lot from players from the blue team, from Hype, just respawn. You were nearly able to defend the core, but it was just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, there was a lot of trouble. I mean, yeah, I think they really wanted to get the kill on Gul'dan, and obviously they had to commit everything to do that, and that left them very exposed because they were down so much already, and the Punisher was still marching. I don't know. I'm not sure how Hype can recover from that because it's a really difficult situation to be in when you're in the lower bracket final and you're kind of taking such a pounding in game number 1. I think they really had trouble dealing with that constant threat of Burgle's Diablo, who seemed to find wall charges again and again. Of course, that's Infernal Shrines, and Diablo really shines in that. But we are going to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 2. We could see Diablo do the same thing here, although possibly with a slightly different build. And I don't know that. I'm not entirely sure that Hype had the answers. Yes, they did some great single target damage when they got that smash combo off, with the polys and the Valor doing a lot of work. But it just didn't seem quite enough there in game number 1.
I mean, especially Battlefield of Eternity is the map choice by Hype, so they, after losing map number 1, they decided to go for the map pick and pick up Battlefield of Eternity, which is also brings up a little bit of questions we saw earlier from them on Battlefield Medieval Nara draft. If it was coming in from them, so they had not enough race to really manage to do something. It might be interesting to see how they decide to draft this time on this map.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they can do about that. I think obviously here on Battlefield there will be a different draft because the race becomes such a big part of it. But yeah, I think yeah, obviously the challenge is for Hype to see how they can change things to really change up the pace, because it really felt like in the team fights that mattered, Skogsapor really had the edge in game number 1. Let's go into the draft of game number 2 in this lower bracket final.
Battlefield of Eternity.
So, Battlefield of Eternity. We're going to see a bit more emphasis on race heroes here for the draft, possibly in the bans and the picks. But still, of course, I'm expecting to see some of those same bans that we saw in game number 1. Cassia, Edid, exactly. Probably we'll see the Medivh and the Tracer ban as well. There's the Diva ban this time, though, so they've learned from the challenges that were created for them in game number 1.
Diva and Cassia so far being the ones who are removed. In the meantime, betting is set up, so exclamation mark bet A if you think Hype is bringing this into a third series and possibly will bring themselves into the grand finals, or exclamation mark bet B if you think Skogsapor do have what it takes to make this a quick 2-0 and bring us towards the grand finals. on this beautiful Sunday evening. Yeah, Ragnar is going to be the band from the side of Skogsapor, and I really like this because Hype so far, they showed really strong plays with this Ragnar, with this Sephora Smash, just blowing up one target with the help of a single stun, or maybe even setting it up, using it without a setup, the Sephora Smash. It's a really good plan coming out there from Skogsapor.
Yeah, I think that was basically the best chances that Hype had in game number 1 is the Smash Rag. And of course, again, the multi-core could be used to defend the pushing objective here very effectively. So, yeah, a good ban there to ban away that Ragnaros. Well, what will get first picked here, though? There's a lot still open. Potentially, we might see a race hero prioritized, but going for the Ana, actually. So picking that up early on.
I really like the early Ana pick, because Ana just enables so many mages to hyper carry. On the side of Skogsapor, we see GS. He's definitely looking at Liming. If Liming is not getting picked up by Hype now, I'm gonna say Skogsapor is picking up Liming themselves and will be a quick 2-0. For now, we see Hype picking up Sylvanas as their first pick, so making sure that if they get those immortals in, then they will be able to push in hard, maybe even get some great push done.
Yeah, so let's see. I'm expecting the Ming just as much as you here to be picked up by Skogsapor. I'm expecting. Yeah, so I think there was some confusion about which side they're playing on, but yeah, they picked up the Ming and the Hanzo. So decent race, decent poke from Bergolt there.
I like the Hanzo because he's just able to use those dragon arrows and set Liming up for some kills with this long stun duration. It's also possibly opening up a Diablo for the arrow APOC combo.
Yeah, I would like to see a Diablo ban here potentially from Hype, but no, they've gone for the Joanna. I suspect they may therefore be going for an auto attack a second to go with the Sylvanas.
I would believe that they are looking for Diablo themselves. When you remove Johanna now, it kind of screams like you want to pick your tank first, because you already have two tanks banned, as ETC was within the first 2 bans in. So I would assume that Hype is looking at this Diablo themselves right now.
Yeah, I think that would be a solid pickup for them, and as well as denying it, it'll also work nicely to punish the Ana, to punish the Hanzo maybe, and stop Ming and Hanzo from having such free poke, which is what they really want here on Battlefield, to stand a little bit back from Immortal. They've gone for the Muradin, confounding expectations, you might say. Muradin probably one of the strongest tanks for race if he goes for Sledgehammer, but definitely is not the same kind of dive aggression as we saw from Diablo. And of course, it does leave free that Diablo option that you were just talking about for Skogsapor. So a slightly surprising pickup for Muradin there, but I mean, I think it's still a solid tank. It'll definitely get value. And again, he can dive onto Ana as well.
He definitely is. But on the other side, we also see them pairing the Murn up with Rexa. The Rexa and Misha will also join the fight, which is very interesting to see, because I personally do not like to play Rexa into Liming, because just having to be very careful for Misha, especially when Ming then gets an arrow, but you have to be really, really careful to not give your opponents a free reset with Misha. But on the other side, Skogsapor, it's not going to be the Diablo pickup, it's instead going to be Garrosh being picked up by them. They're gonna also pair it with the Deathwing for the solo lane, probably.
Yes, that's nice. Zeratul picked up. Okay, that's going to give Ana some challenges, particularly in the late game. And that might be Hype's window into this game, is just wait a little bit for the later game, and then Zeratul can start to really punish those backliners of Skogsapor. And the other thing we didn't say about the Muradin to go with the Anduin is we may see a Light Bomb Muradin combo where he just puts Light Bomb on Muradin, and Muradin just jumps in. Now, of course, Deathwing's not going to be affected by that, but potentially that could devastate an Ana if she gets an exploding dwarf landing on her head. That could be quite unpleasant indeed. So don't forget to get your bets in on who you think will win game number 2 in this best of 3 lower bracket final.
I mean, really have to be Murren. Like also Zeratul has like 2 or 3 blinks he can use to just jump into Anna's face and just one-shot her. Because for Ming and Hanzo, so you have to be really careful there for the side of Skogsapor.
Yeah, definitely. So, let's head into the game. And on the left, in blue, once more, we have Hype with Parnax on that Muradin, Yaya Days on Rexar, Hlopaka on Zeratul, Halcyon on Sylvanas, and Nox on the Anduin.
And on the right side, we have Skogsapor2.0, we have Sven on the Deathwing Skog, on the Garrosh Gia playing the Ming, Gunnar on the Anna, and Berkholt playing the Hanzo.
Yes, so in they go with their combo straight away. And at the moment, Skog's looking to walk up to catch a throw, possibly onto Muradin even. They don't have the stun to follow up, so I don't think Parnax has any danger of dying, particularly the Muradin who can just jump out to safety. But look at this, the backline from Zeratul. Oh, Hlopaka has been punished for that insolence. Coming in, put some damage onto Anna, but taken out by Hanzo and Li Ming, because of course Garrosh was shutting the door on one of his exits. So a slight overstep there from Zeratul. Obviously, as the later this game goes on, the more impactful he will be there.
Yes, Skogto not picking a lot of them from this half, but there's gonna with a lot of healing. Does not manage to heal enough though. Parnax being thrown in, but he's a Muradin, he's healthy. There will not be any danger for him right now. Root onto Circle, and Circle gets taken down as Hlopaka on. The Zeratul is now back in. He manages to get the kill.
Right, so let's take a look at these level 1 talents while Hanzo respawns. Perfect Storm from Muradin. That's more damage on the Q, which suggests to me they're going to play quite an aggressive style. Late game, they're probably going to dive onto the Anna, onto the Hanzo. And, of course, if he goes for Sledgehammer at level 4, it will give potentially huge damage onto the Immortal. Now, Skog steps into the siege camp. He has taken a lot of damage from Sylvanas and Muradin. Skog's going to fall down here, and the camp is taken, but is Muradin dying in response? No, jumps out to safety with 50 HP. Sylvanas chases, throws out some arrows onto Anna. They won't get any more kills, but they're going to be happy with the one they got and the camp, giving them a tasty little XP lead early on here in game number 2.
Meantime, Gia gets engaged by Hlopaka, goes in, but he managed now in the needs to jump about because the Ming was already under tower range. Don't want to take too much damage for that. Now we have level 4s coming in for Hype already. Half a level lead so far, looking really damn good. Side of Deathwing, we by the way see Molten of Blood, so increasing his health regeneration as long as he has 3 or more blades, which will probably end up into him going heal, making sure he is able to stay healthy while standing back and throwing in some Qs. Garrosh works really well because Garrosh can just throw people into your Q for this additional damage.
Yeah, so that can be something. It is Sledgehammer from Muradin, by the way, so we will see potentially devastating race as Rexar gets picked off in the top by a rotation from Skog onto that top lane. And of course, with the help of Deathwing, he secured the kill onto Rexar and, more importantly, onto Misha too. Zeratul.
He's getting poked down, he's getting hit by Hanzo as well. Manages to get out, Nox is there with the healing to keep him topped off. Now both teams already starting a race.
Yeah, and now both teams have pretty good race, but it does feel like it should be the race lead to the red team. And indeed, they are the first to get half-time, but they're only about 500 points ahead. So I suspect both teams will go and just try to race here in the second half. But Garrosh actually stepping up with Anna, and they are. This looks like an invade here from Skogsapor. They want to fight because, of course, Zeratul's weak early game. Halcyon gets pulled out. Not going to save him, though, because it's still in the fiery breath from Sven. Now they want to chase Skogsapor. They want to catch more kills if they can, but Zeratul's sniffing around the back line, trying to catch onto Li Ming. Ming steps to the side. Should be okay for now. And, of course, Zeratul not so impactful yet. Muradin steps up, though. Can they get any more damage on this Immortal before it's taken by Skogsapor? I don't think they can. And Hype lose the first objective, but maybe they get the counter kill onto this Garrosh.
I don't think they can. A lot of damage, but there's gonna with the healing also the 2 clubs which the Immortal spawn in the mid lane, in the mid when he has been taken down. We go towards the top lane here under the Ming already. They are clearing away, making sure they have the lane priority. And they can immediately walk into the towers and start knocking those down. Walking up, looking for a throw. Halcyon and Nox too far away from the wall to get thrown in. Kopaka now always being a threat for Gunnar in the backline on this Zeratul. Really well. Okay, but he also has to be careful. The step up onto Nox, he's getting thrown in. Taking a lot of damage, and dealing with this as well, and he gets taken down. This gives level 7 towards Skogsapor.
It's a disaster there for Hype because this could have been a reasonably easy defense for them, but unfortunately Garrosh managed to find the Anduin, get that kill, and now it's going to be very difficult to keep this fort from falling whilst Anduin is dead. Anduin is on the way back, but there's still a lot of minions. Sylvanas converts some of the minions. That will help take the pressure off, and it will save the fort for now. But Zeratul put to sleep, but Muradin trying to tank the throw. Great tank play there from Parnax, tanks the throw, and in fact gets a Stormwall counter onto Burkle. And Garrosh is falling pretty low here. Body blocked by Parnax with the jump in. Now Skog's falling down to 15 HP, does die. Muradin might be able to get away here if Hanzo can't find the snipe, and Burkle's actually zoned out by Halcyon's damage there. Beautiful tank play there from Parnax on the Muradin. Everything you love to see from a tank. Stopping the Garrosh throw on his teammate, and then body blocking the Garrosh in the corner. Beautifully done from the Dwarf.
With Tikarian's Garrosh, it gives now a little bit of space towards Hype, and they're looking to take this top 10. Baka going in, taking a lot of damage though. He has to be careful on the Zeratul. He also went for Warp Skirmisher on level 7, so not opting into any movement speed or some whatever. Instead opting for a second charge on his active, which will give him a lot of pressure onto those heroes like Liming, like Sarah, like Hanzo, like Anna. He goes in, he goes into Geo. He be able to go in? No, he decides against it because now he does not really have any escape tools. He has to walk into someone and auto attack them, or maybe even blink, but then you don't have blink. Now we see a sleeper onto the Anduin. The throw Geo is there with the combo, and goodbye Anduin again. Nice start coming in there from Gunnar.
It's such a nasty combination. Do they know Zeratul's here? They've just figured it out because Gunnar got body blocked by the Zeratul who is invisible. But Hlopaka has already taken 80% off Anna's health just in that one execution, but he gets punished for it. Maybe Sylvanas gets punished as well. The taunt just dodged by Halcyon there with a nice little haunting wave. So avoids giving 2 kills, but Zeratul did die, and Anna, of course, did not. So another kill lead for Skogsapor. Yeah, I mean, this is such a nasty combination that we were talking about, the sleep. But in comes the hand thrower, catches onto Misha. Misha's already dead. Li Ming's got a nano boost, resetting like crazy. Already got 2 kills, looking for Muradin as well. There's the stun from Garrosh, just about dodged by Parnax. So they will get away. But yeah, a Misha and an Anduin both died in that exchange.
Misha also gave the reason for Li Ming with the nano boost. Oh, Kopaka going in, looking at Barricade. No one in. Not enough, he stays alive, but Gunnar in the meantime gets engaged by Parnax and Misha. Silence arrow comes in, only onto Li Ming. Parnax was looking, Gog dropping really low, but in the meantime now Sven is kind of alone there in the opponent team. On the left wing, but he gets out.
Look at Zeratul though, waiting in the wings for Burkle, gets the double combo, and Hanzo's been destroyed. Lovely play there from Hlopaka on the Zeratul. Now, of course, that gives so much space to Hype to get this Immortal done. They do have a 5,000 HP deficit to catch up on, though, but they should be able to do that because Li Ming is completely zoned out by Misha and Rexar in the bottom, and Sven Deathwing can't really step up just yet. Sleep onto Muradin, though, from Anna. Parnax jumps in, though, isn't afraid of the Garrosh, gets thrown into towers, stunned. Might actually pay for that. Have the Avatar, though, still alive, but Deathwing comes in, wants to punish Parnax on the Muradin. Their stun misses. Can he live long enough to get the second wind off? Dodges some damage, jumps over, but Hanzo is waiting. And Muradin dies, but Li Ming gets killed in response.
And Li Ming still gets the kill on Zeratul though. The 1-for-1 trade from those two. And Misha gets picked off in the meantime as well. It's another kill onto Hype. Misha going down, but in the meantime, as Muradin, so he went really deep and he really a little bit overextended there. But he got enough time for his team to make sure they secure the raise and they are able to get this second Immortal into their hands.
Yeah, so I think that it was a space creation strategy, and it allowed them to get that Immortal, and it was reasonably healthy, but the thing is, they don't need to commit too much. The Light Bomb, though, in response to this taunt, but Garrosh presses Indomitable. He's still alive. The Silence, though, comes out, stuns onto Garrosh. In comes the damage from Misha as well, potentially, but Skog does walk away. And For now, nobody has actually died, although Halcyon's falling very close. Misha's gone down. That will reset Gia, who might be able to throw in another combo and catch onto Muradin. Muradin jumps out to safety. Zeratul has to hide here. Can't run through this Hanzo vision. Dodges the scatter. The sidesteps here from the Hlabaka on the Zeratul. Absolutely spot on here.
Now definitely looking in for another target he can look at. Start, try to blow up. Arnax going in, another 2-man stun coming in. Very nice stacking for his perfect more than 20 stacks. It's pretty damn good. Arnax getting engaged. No, he to a nice route from Anduin the Skog on the garage. Has to use himself with the meantime. Baka going in, not taking a lot of damage. Now he has to taunt onto the Muradin. Will he gets to pop the avatar off? Is they alive? He jumps out.
Oh, you love to see it. You love to see that kind of Muradin play. Oh, and he's dodged the Hanzo arrow as well. And Parnax is second winding now. And maybe Hanzo's getting punished, gets stunned, and then comes in the damage from Zeratul. But Anna is there to heal. Doesn't matter though, because the burst here and the light bomb in, jumping in. Parnax there onto 2 members. Garrosh is completely zoned out as well. That's an absolute massacre here. Hype playing so well here in game number 2. They're so aggressive with this Muradin Zeratul combination that Anna and Hanzo can't really handle that kind of dive. And Garrosh only has 1 taunt to deal with it. And when that's not available, or when there's a light bomb in response, Garrosh and his backline are getting very, very punished.
Meantime, we saw Hype immediately capitalizing on those kills and just taking down the bottom for the Manager. Now they're also looking at their opponent's Bruiser camp.
Yeah, and that gets them even more space on this map. Bearing in mind, they're already 1-4 top. The top 4 is pretty tender for both of the teams. So both teams have suffered damage in the top, but bottom 4 is definitely an advantage here for the blue team. And of course, they've got a Bruiser pushing top now. He only gets thrown in. No avatar for 15 seconds, which has been crucial to how Parnax has lived so far through the onslaught he's taking. So he's going to wait for this avatar for 8 more seconds, I suspect. And Zeratul just waiting on the eastern side, waiting hidden as much as possible to try and find Anna or Hanzo even slightly out of position.
Can also be living. He goes in, looking at Gunnar. Drop damage in. There's the jump with the light bomb together, and there's big silence arrow, and one make it 2, make it 3. 3 people go down. Skog and Sven on the left of the standing. Skog gets taken down as well. It's only Sven who tries to get to the wall, but there's a lot of bottle blocks going on. It's a 5-man team up coming out from the side of Hype.
Absolutely, I mean, absolutely disgusting. And you know, I said in the draft, we'll see a light bomb and Muradin jump in combination. I didn't expect it to be this well executed. Every time they're getting it, it's hitting multiple targets and just tearing up the backline. And then they're just sitting ducks, in this case for a Sylvanas Wailing Arrow on top, but for Zeratul to go in with and get so much cleave value as well. Just absolutely devastating. And of course, with the Sledgehammer, they've made short work of that keep. And now they'll go and do that Immortal at their own leisure, and they've got a 2-level advantage now here in game number 2 of the lower bracket final.
It is time for a change in strategy.
First half now going over towards Hype, and they have a 2-level lead. Skogsapor 2 levels away, 1.5 level away from picking up level 16 themselves.
Yeah, and that means that there's so much space here for Hype to do what they want because of that talent advantage. Misha might die here actually, and that, that gives gives a bit of XP. But they're going in with the light bomb combo this time only onto Garrosh. He actually survives here. Maybe he doesn't actually. There's so much damage coming out in the follow-up and the roots from Anduin. The Anna healing though, so incredible. Not enough though. In comes the stun onto Anna. Deathwing putting out some damage from the side, catches onto Sylvanas. Hando comes out, wants to catch onto Anduin, who's been wave of force back into real trouble. Healed himself for as much as he can, but the resets are coming out from Gia. They're going to catch onto Misha as well. Zeratul waiting in the wings, wants to catch onto the Anna. Anna though survives, and Zeratul blown up by a combination of Li Ming, who's got themselves a triple kill.
Yeah, it's another wave of force onto the Rexa. Now it's only Paranax in here. He's getting slowly, but Paranax is on the run. He's having no life left. Will he get the kill? Gets Avatar in as well in the end. With Paranax just stalling his death. Okay, now Gia even does not focus him down to the end. Gia would have kept on looking at him and delayed his death. Have been a really strong staggered death on the side of Hype, and this would have actually a lot of defense power, especially with Muradin having Sledgehammer being one of the strongest defense tools in their team.
Yeah, and of course now he doesn't have the avatar, he can't stand up as aggressively to defend because the risk of him being thrown by Garrosh is much more severe without the Avatar. So, I mean, what a turnaround that fight was from Skogsapor, because it looked like it was going to be another light bomb engage to ruin their lives. But it only ended up hitting Garrosh, and he took a long time to take damage, and therefore they were able to start getting counter killed with the Deathwing, with the Li Ming as well, and of course it was a quad kill for Jia. Now they're looking to go in.
And this is a dead Misha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a small thing which really won the fight for Skogsapor. That when Paranox, when the Merlin jumped in with the light bomb, in the middle of their Skog, pressed the taunt. So as soon as the Merlin landed, walked 3 steps towards Garrosh, and then the light bomb exploded. And therefore, he did not manage to hit Anna, Hanzo, or Li Ming at all. Those are just small things some people at this high level do, which is so crucial for those team fights.
Yeah, these teams are just playing out of their minds here. Absolutely incredible from both of these teams. Really, really razor sharp execution, as you say. So, the game goes on, and now it's a bit more even on the structures and on the XP, but it's still a half level XP lead here for Hype. So a lot better situation than they were doing in game number 1. And of course, they've still got an extra fort for a little while, which gives them a little touch extra of trickle XP until Skogsapor no doubt go and secure it themselves. So in the race to 20, Hype should be comfortably in the lead here, although Zeratul has got to be careful not to get seen here, standing very still, trying not to get seen, but does go in and help some with some wave clear and run away.
Also, Hype still has taken down the keep of Skogsapor, so they have to be careful to not get taken down by camp pressure, catapult pressure in the bottom in the long run. But therefore they have to definitely get a really good global for just making sure that you have someone being able to defend those catapults and then join the team on short-term notice if needed.
Yeah, and that's going to create sort of continuous gradual pressure. But there's going to be even talent for this next objective. Now, what we may see, as you said, is kind of a defensive strategy from Hype and just try and wait this out and let that bottom lane go in until somebody goes from the side of Skogsapor to clear the mounting wave pressure down there. But so far they're just posturing, waiting. They know neither team wants to misplay here because, of course, if Hype loses this game, they are out of the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship. And of course, if Skogsapor lose this game, they will go to Game 3. And that'll be tough for them as well. Misha slides in though, puts a bit of zone onto Garrosh, but look how much race Skogsapor are able to get done whilst Hype is just waiting for 20. They're using Zeratul in the offlane to try and soak their, try and get the 20, but the Immortals are switching to half time now. The 20s are coming in a few more seconds. Zeratul's going to be on the way to this fight, and this is going to be the deciding moment, potentially, of this game.
Skog is finding with Zeratul. There's the taunt, there's the throw. His leader uses everything he has on the side of Zeratul, using the rewind. Get out there, else this would have definitely been a dead Zeratul.
Beautiful escape though. That's absolutely incredible here from Hlabaka. And now that means they can have the 20 versus 19 fight. Throws in the light bomb. Muradin catches on to Ming. She does get jump away to safety for now, but she's putting out so much damage actually with that nano boost. Turns around. Muradin gets thrown in, but he doesn't matter. He's got the avatar. He's going to start throwing out some damage. He does mind actually. He's been absolutely melted by Hanzo and Ming. Nox is going to be next. Nox is going to get absolutely boxed, and Hlabaka is going to try and run away here and hide in the shadows. But yes, another 2 kills for Skogsapor, who are down a talent here in this fight. And with that, Skogsapor are going to go and get themselves this Immortal. They are. I was just saying, there was a bit of question mark there because Sylvanas came to contest. Potentially, Halcyon's gone in. Oh, dodges the Garrosh, and the boards have come in. Zeratul is thinking of going in here, catches onto Burgle, but gets found out by a combination from Deathwing, and Garrosh there secures the kill onto Misha as well. And now Rexar's going to be next. Bang! In comes the orb from Jia to secure that kill, and that's 4 dead with the Immortal pushing top lane. That's a very tough situation here for Hype right now.
So like there's staggered Deathwing with Zeratul and Rexel just die because now have really good win. Now Banana was coming onto Gia, but not able to get the kill onto the Sylvanas there. But the keep is definitely going to go down here in the top lane. bottom lane, we have slowly some catapult pressure building up for the core on the side of Skogsapor. But with this Immortal still having some shield, Paranax going and looking at the opponents.
Yeah, but they've got to worry about this Immortal, and I think Parnax wants to use his Stormbolts on it because of course the Sledgehammer, but Deathwing says no, you're feared away. You're not going to clear this Immortal. The Immortal is just taking down that core in chunks, is down to 50% already and falling. There's a taunt from Garrosh. That's going to secure the place for Skogsapor in the grand final of the Heroes Lounge Mythic Championship.
It's GG.
So again, incredible from Skogsapor. I mean, the fact is they managed to win some of those fights down a talent tier because it's almost surprising because you would expect the Zeratul to be more impactful late game. But what I think happened is that Skogsapor learned very quickly from their early losses to that light bomb combination, and they started reacting better with the Garrosh taunts. Garrosh was always on the lookout for Zeratul. We saw a blind taunt on a stealth Zeratul once, for example, getting the throws, keeping Zeratul on his toes, and that meant he couldn't really threaten Anna as much when those light bombs came in. And of course, Mirrodin then often just got boxed in and destroyed.
And also, any talent tier they were down. It was a level 20 talent tier, which is by far, except for 10, probably the strongest talent tier in the game. Especially having such a hero like Zeratul. Also Sylvanas with the Bolt of the Storm. Really, really well done there by Skogsapor. Especially from Skog. Finding the Zeratul who just roams around, was looking for a target. Finding him, taunting him, and then comboing him. Dropping him very low HP and then forcing him to use his abilities, to use everything he has just to stay alive in that moment. And then was the moment where Skogsapor decided to engage because of the Zeratul not having any cooldowns. He really had troubles finding those targets he wanted to one-shot.
Yeah, so it's a tough situation there for Hype. I mean, because as you said, they have the 20 advantage. They felt like this is their fight to take, and yet just razor sharp execution, like we talked about from Skogsapor. Brilliant stuff from the Swedish team, and that will secure themselves a place in the grand final to go up for the rematch against Hasu. Wins these every day. I mean, any predictions on that, Samu?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna see 2 or 3 very close games at least. Again, Skogsapor really showed off, especially in those last 2 series, in those last 2 maps. Again, they showed off that they're still a very strong team. Now it's the question on Team Hasu, will they be able to close it out again in very fast in a 2-0, or will Skogsapor this time fight back, win some maps, or maybe even win the series?
Yes, I mean, I think it's difficult. I mean, it's difficult if you're on the side of Skogsapor right now. But we've seen it done before. And we may see it again. The potential comeback from the lower bracket to climb to the Mythic Championship victory.
Shall jump into a short break until we see how this game goes, as we are getting in another third caster for us right next to us. So stay tuned, and we will be back soon. Bye.